Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerfherder Council.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerfherder Council. I am your host, JT. With me is Steve. AJ is MIA. We saw him for a second, and now we don't know where he is. But whether or not AJ's here, that doesn't mean that we aren't still brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. And do not forget that you can get your own customizable Nerfherder Council swag at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. And Steve, apparently that swag might be where we start tonight's show.
Yeah. Too bad we don't have the guy here with the email so we can
right
actually talk about it.
Right. All right, Joseph Friends checking in. Nerfheard this. What's up, Joe? We got our buddy Mark Thrasher. What's up, Thrasher? How's it going, man? Good to see you guys. Thanks for checking in. All right, so AJ apparently is back up. So there he is.
Yep. Sorry, guys, had an audio issue there.
I was going to say we saw you and then we didn't see you. So that was kind of interesting. So, all right.
I did a fantastic job of setting up, but not of actually, putting in an earbud so I could hear anybody. Oops.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a, not that many people want to hear us, but sometimes people do.
That's true.
Right.
So we had kind of a theory that we wanted to talk about tonight, and the theory kind of starts with our own T-shirt design, and it would be the custom Nerfherder Council solo logo Nerfherder Council T-shirt. So AJ, why don't you tell us what happened to the Nerfherder Council this week in relation to our solo branded T-shirt?
Yeah. When we say go get your gear from shop.nerfherdercouncil.com, we really mean it because it seems like pretty soon we're not going to have anything up there anymore. I guess I did too good of a job of ripping off Star Wars design cues because we got our first official takedown notice from Lucasfilm directly. Like they contacted TeePublic and they said there was an IP infringement because the solo design was too close to the actual design for the logo of the movie. So you can no longer get a Star Wars story style Nerfherder Council shirt at shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. For now, I'm pretty sure we can adjust that and get back up there. But
just use the Star Wars font and say, "Take this shirt down, Lucasfilm," and make that shirt.
Right, but we're on their radar. They know who we are.
Maybe that's our fifth viewer. That's our fifth live viewer right now. It's somebody from
Right.
Lucasfilm. Like, all right. Excuse me.
Kathy K is listening in.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
feverishly taking notes angrily. Just
I wonder how they find that stuff. I mean, we've had that design up for a while, which is kind of why we wanted to talk about this tonight. Like, we've had that design up for quite a while, and
well, we didn't hide the fact. It was actually labeled as Solo, a Star Wars story style shirt. So a quick Google search will probably bring that up.
Yeah, but why now? Like,
what if we put like a Rogue Smuggler standalone movie style shirt up?
Just do one of those like stupid misspellings, like like
like Lepin, like Star Wieners.
Yeah, Star Wieners. Yeah, we'll have SO-LOW. That's our shirt, our solo T-shirt. So we'll do that. Like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, how do they find this crap? Like, is it actually somebody's job to go rooting around the internet, be like, oh, that's ours. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Probably. There's just somebody that sits there and scours the internet on a regular basis trying to find ways to make sure that they get every penny they're owed.
Right. I think Mark Thrasher nailed it. People are always complimenting me on my T-shirt I got from you guys. Maybe you're too good. I think that's exactly it.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, exactly. AJ did the design. I have that radio voice to pimp out the site. Go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com for your customizable Nerfherder Council swag. And they got jealous. Mm-hmm. So they can always hire us, though. I mean, so
that's
there's
true. That's very true.
See there, Joseph Wren. What if you CGI the shirt over another shirt? It worked in The Mandalorian. He's right. We could do that. We definitely could do that. So the shirt is like a very stupid topic, but it is funny because We got an email from Lucasfilm. How many people out there can say that? It doesn't matter what it says. Doesn't matter what it says. But we got an email from Lucasfilm, and based on some stuff that we have seen online recently, we kind of started thinking, is Solo 2 maybe starting to become more of a reality than, anyone is letting on? Because if they start, nitpicking us over a dumb T-shirt design, then, there's different announcements that have been out there. So, AJ, you kind of put 2 and 2 together on a few things. So why don't you start us off?
It's interesting that the Watchdogs finally found us, because it seems like around the same time that we got our T-shirt taken down, Make Solo 2 Happen started making waves on Twitter again. I know that was a big thing, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Like pretty much as soon as HBO and Warner Brothers greenlit the Snyder Cut, everyone was like, "Oh my God, we can get Solo 2 happening! Then let's do it." But it resurged lately, and that combined with the T-shirt getting taken down, and then spoiler alert for anyone who's a reader of the comics. I won't tell anyone to tune out because no one's listening anyway. But we just be talking to ourselves. But Kira pops up.
Hit?
Yeah, they're doing this big crossover event in the comics right now. They've got like 5 concurrent running series, and they're all doing this crossover called War of the Bounty Hunters. And it takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it tells the story of what happened to Han in Carbonite between the 2 movies. Apparently, Boba Fett didn't just leave Bespin and show up at Jabba's palace. There's a whole bunch of crap that happened in between where people were trying to steal him from Boba. So at the end of the first issue, Kira pops up again, and Crimson Dawn has apparently been gone for 15 years by this point in the timeline. So they're resurrecting old Solo characters at the same time this Twitter hashtag starts trending again, at the same time our T-shirt gets taken down. And I'm thinking, maybe there's something going on over at Lucasfilm about the Solo stories.
I think our T-shirt is obviously the catalyst. Let's just not,
Yeah.
It's not the comic books. It's not the movie. It's our T-shirt.
They saw the sales numbers. They're like, we can't lose.
All 4 of them.
Yeah.
Print that money.
Making it rain. It's kind of funny because I didn't really notice the correlation until you had brought it up when we were texting about this the other day, and it is kind of interesting. It does seem like things might be lining up. We know that next year Celebration probably is going to be about Rogue Squadron, because unless something has changed, that's the movie for December 2022. But after that, we don't really know much. And so maybe that's something that we're going to get some information on between now and next May. And maybe this is exactly what it is. They're starting, the very beginnings of Solo 2, and we're going to get, the movie that we all wanted to see, or maybe it's going to be like a Disney Plus program. I don't know. But yeah, it is kind of ironic. All kidding aside, we're not very big. And so for us to have a T-shirt design taken down is pretty stupid. So that does seem kind of sketchy, especially when you combine it with the fact, the hashtag getting around, and, all of a sudden these characters kind of recurring and stuff like that. So,
maybe they just let it fly for a while because Solo didn't mean anything to them, but if they need to start marketing things again soon, then they gotta start doing damage control on idiots like us using that logo.
Wouldn't it be ironic if this was a bit of damage control? Solo bombed at the box office because of a supposed backlash from people who didn't like Last Jedi. So they were boycotting Star Wars. And then Rise of Skywalker comes out, and people hate that so much that now they're like, you know what? Solo wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it's true. It's exactly how it happened.
It's like sympathy pains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, all the hate on the prequels until the sequels came out, and everyone's like, well, in hindsight, I think the prequels were pretty good. Like people who just didn't like Disney Star Wars, all of a sudden they love 1, 2, and 3. Like, okay.
Right. Well, I mean, like Mark Thrasher said, Last Jedi was so great. He's right. It was so great. I mean, that was a phenomenal movie.
Mark is very on point tonight.
Yeah, he nailed that one. I mean, he's wrong about Force Awakens, but he's right about The Last Jedi. So there you go. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it for sure. And I think you probably, well, not probably, you really do make a good point about extra love for the movie, considering the fact that the backlash against The Rise of Skywalker. People probably do go back and look at that now and say, and I mean, let's be honest, there was already that underground thing that's like getting bigger and bigger. People going, oh my God, I never watched this before, but now I did, and it's awesome. So I think when you have that and you couple it with, how divisive The Rise of Skywalker was, I mean, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch to give a movie some momentum. So, they've had success with The Mandalorian. Everyone's excited for Kenobi. They're excited for the Andor series. So maybe they are really looking at this going, well, maybe it's time we do take a chance on Solo too. I mean, I think we've mentioned this before, but there's really not any backlash against the movie that you see online anymore. And even when it was out, when it was fresh, when it was in theaters, you didn't see people going, this movie sucks. This movie is terrible. It was, well, I'm not going to go see it, man. Screw The Last Jedi. I'm boycotting Star. But there's never really been a big groundswell of negative attention for the movie based on the movie itself. So maybe they're finally seeing that for what it is.
Yeah, the worst criticism I ever saw against Solo was that it was forgettable or unnecessary, but not bad. It was just like, all right, it's there. Like we already know who this character is. We didn't need to see all the things that we had already heard about. So okay, at worst, it's inoffensive, but it's not bad.
All right, so Wade Lindemann says, just jumped on. Did you guys discuss Kira being introduced in the latest comic? Yes, AJ did mention that. That was one of the first points that he made. So she is there. Mark says, I liked Solo. There's more coming. Lucasfilm made that clear to you guys. All right. Well, you're gonna have to clarify that, Mark. Like how did they make it clear to us that more Solo is coming?
Here's how I would put it. Didn't they say they were going for a trilogy at first?
That was,
and then they just scrapped it off the lukewarm reception that it got.
I don't know if they I don't know if they said that publicly, but that was everybody's understanding, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of taken as given now. And Lucasfilm never throws out a story idea. Like the Kenobi movie got scrapped because Solo underperformed. Well, now we're getting it as a Disney Plus series. Anytime they have story ideas, even like the rejected stuff, the Bad Batch is a whole show based around story reels that existed before Clone Wars got canceled. And then they brought it back, 8 years later or whatever. The stories, the ideas never go away. They just take different forms. So I wouldn't be surprised if whatever stories they were intending to tell in those other two movies of the trilogy get Disney Plusified, or maybe they do land back in theaters.
Yeah. Joseph Friend says, Solo 2, yes, actually more of that, please. And for the fanboys, more Ray Park as Darth Maul, too. Well, that one might be tough, because remember there was that whole uproar online where he got, kind of canceled by Disney. You guys remember that?
No.
I don't either. It happened for like a minute.
Because it mustn't have picked up any steam, because I don't even remember.
No, if you Google it, like it was a thing for a while. Like I forget what exactly it did. I was like, is this really a big deal? And I guess it was like some like private messages of his, like texting back and forth with somebody. I think on Instagram went public or something, and everyone blew up about it. And I was like, this is nothing. And sure enough, no one knows what the hell it is anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was back, unless Lucasfilm is like into holding grudges or something like that. But
if it lasts more than 24 hours, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just Googled it. The first story that came up said Darth Maul series possibly canceled after shocking Instagram post. So
I think he was like cursing at somebody or said shit. It was something so dumb. I was like, really? That's
It says
clickbait
it
as you
said
can
he
get.
posted a not suitable for work video on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. He was.
It says the
Yeah.
stuntman was being serviced by his wife.
Yes, it was. It was a intimate video of he and his wife. That's what it was. But it's not like he was cheating or something. It's like it's his wife. So like whatever. Like, oops.
Yeah.
Like who cares? Like what? Ugh. You know. Joseph
Now-
Wren, Darth Maul got canceled by Disney before or after the spider legs? That's
So
a whole
I
other
did
show.
a-
Spider
I
legs.
did
good or
a
bad?
little bit of research before coming on here tonight. Basically, I just went on YouTube and I searched for "Make Solo 2 Happen" just to see like what videos were out there about it. And the only criticisms, the only people that are saying like don't do that are the people that come right out and say, "I didn't like Solo. I didn't like that movie at all. They shouldn't make another one of those." It's like
Yeah.
it's just that narrow-minded thing of like, well, if I don't like it, then clearly nobody likes it, and it's a dumb idea. Like it's fucking stupid. And the other thing, sorry for the F-bomb. And
Dump
the other
out.
video,
Dump out.
yeah, right. The other rant was, oh, we put Darth Maul at the end. It's such fan service. Like, yes and no. Like, if you don't watch the Clone Wars, then it's a total surprise that he's even there. And maybe you've never even seen episode 1. Maybe you just know the originals and Solo or something if you're a newer fan. And this, how badass is Darth Maul as a character, like look wise?
Yeah.
If he's the big reveal and you don't know who that character is before you've seen Solo, holy crap! Don't you want to know more about that guy?
Yeah.
You'd think.
Well, and it's clear from, just having him in that movie is clear that they were planning on more stuff, because you don't just bring out Maul for like a 30-second thing. I mean, make all the episode 1 jokes you want, but you don't just bring him back and then say, okay, we're done with this. Like, no, that's something you do with like Walrus Man, or the two dudes from the like Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan in Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's how you do that. But you don't do that with Darth Maul, and they didn't do it with Darth Maul. It was quite obvious that they were setting something up. So, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. Like I don't know what to think about it because I don't want to get my hopes up, but I was one of those people that kind of went into the Solo movie going, yeah, we don't need this, but who cares? It's awesome. It's Han Solo. It's the greatest movie character in history, Like, so I'm into it. And then by the time the movie was done, especially with that tease at the end with Darth Maul and stuff, I was like, oh my God, this can go to so many awesome places, So, and to have it just like die on the vine like that, I was like, shit. So now I'm like, yeah, let's get this going.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Thrasher makes another good point. Just like his good point about The Force Awakens being great. The Last Jedi being great. The Force Awakens was not great. He says, plus young Lando was in there. That needs to be explored. So much material to work with. I mean, that right there is a perfect point. That's yet more that you can... And, they're doing a Lando series. So now, basically, I mean, you could have had, Wade Lindemann. Yeah, they set up Maul giving Kira a nice talking to. Well, I think we can extrapolate out from the comic that something happened to Maul and Kira's still around. So the talking to may not have ever happened.
I just wonder what he was intimating with that lightsaber hilt.
Yeah. Well, let's not get. If we go down that rabbit hole, we're just in trouble. So we're gonna leave that alone. Because
if we go down that rabbit hole, it turns into a normal show.
See, the one thing we got in this whole thing, the original concept for this show was like we were going to like fanfic Solo 2, right? Like, what would we want to see in a sequel?
Yeah.
The more I think about it, and the way we've just covered everything, I think Solo himself is like the least interesting part. That's the one thing that a sequel would have going against it is we don't really need to see where Han and Chewie go next. We kind of know.
Okay. Well, until AJ can shut his whore mouth. When AJ can start acting like an adult again and not be rude and offensive to me, he can come back. Sorry,
Like,
man, I had to.
I'll wait. I got a beer.
I
I got
kind
more
of
beer
understand.
besides this.
I'm
There
not
you
going
go.
to say I agree, but I kind of understand what he's saying because we know Han's story going into the original trilogy. So it's like you kind of want to know what the hell's going on with everybody else now.
Right. We were talking
Yeah, I
about,
mean-
wouldn't it be cool to see Lando? Wouldn't it be cool to see what happened to Kira? What about Crimson Dawn? What about Memphis Nest? Like, no one's going like, what about Solo? Where does he go next? Like, he's allegedly going to work for Jabba now. That's the big job on Tatooine for a gangster that he talked about.
Well, we
Yeah.
know what happens to Memphis Nest. She ends up in the MCU and gets killed by Captain America.
She's a flag
so,
smasher.
Yeah.
All right.
So we don't need her story anymore either. So we just kind of need it. Solo 2 is a Kira movie now because we know what happens to Lando. We know what happens to Han. Memphis Nest goes to the MCU. So now we really just want a movie about Kira apparently.
Yeah. That when you phrase it like that, you jerk. Now.
Well, shit.
Well,
Hashtag fuck Solo 2. We ruined it. We have 21 minutes. We ruined
Let's get
it.
that
All right.
trending.
there we go.
Damn it.
There. All right, fine. Well, on that note, we'll close up shop tonight. So
All
we're
right.
checking out another episode. All right, so if we're gonna fanfic this, let's fanfic it. But you guys in the comments and stuff like that, you guys play along here. Let's see what we can come up with. So, is everybody in agreement that would have to have Boba Fett?
I don't think so. Although I've never been the biggest Boba Fett fan, so I'm probably not the one to ask.
He should be in it somewhere.
Like,
I-
where did it get written in that there was this big, long-standing beef between Han Solo and Boba Fett?
In Solo 2, as we're discussing,
Duh.
man, pay attention.
Yeah. Act like you just got here.
Yeah, I mean, but I think this is like the perfect ground to explain that. You know, and the comics obviously are starting to do that. I mean, Steve, AJ, and I were joking about the comics that it's like we were like, okay, well, you know, at the beginning of this comic series, Han is in carbonite, and at the end of the comic series, in Return of the Jedi, Han is in carbonite. So we're like, what is every issue going to be like? It's going to be like wrestling. It's going to be like title changes, where it just ends up back with the original guy after like 12 title changes.
Yeah.
You know,
Basically,
it's going to be
apparently
like
the next issue, there's an issue with the carbon unit or something, and he starts to thaw out. So Boba Fett has to like stop off somewhere. So
And
there's
then he
like,
gets
oh my
stolen.
god, he might get out of his carbonite. So,
All right, well,
but you know, Star Wars is good at this though. Star Wars is really good at telling stories when you already know the outcome and still making it interesting. Like, we all said that going into Rogue One, right? We're like, we know they get the Death Star plans, so what are they going to tell us that we don't already know? A lot, as it turns out.
2.5 hours of awesomeness.
Right. I think that's where Solo faces an uphill battle because the movie itself in general is kind of like a comic book in that respect, you know? Like comic books tend to work in like the periphery or like fill in the gaps between the movies. And that's basically what Solo did. Solo just took like little bits that were mentioned in movies and then put them on the screen for you to see instead of in a comic book for you to read.
Yeah.
Well, and I think a lot of people who aren't fans of the comics and that type of story, they're just looking at the movie going like, why did we need this?
See, Star Wars has never been about what you need. It's like what you want to see. Like, you know, in the prequels, did you need giant, 50 Jedi lightsaber fights? No. But was it awesome? Yeah. Like, the battle in the Geonosian arena. Like, that's cool. I mean, shit, dude. All right. Let's see here. Wade Lindemann says, it's all about the coaxium. No Boba isn't necessary. Mandalorian gave us lots of Fett. Okay, now, so Wade, are you saying that you would not be into, the backstory between Han and Boba? Because I think that's, exactly what you would talk about, because it's something. Joseph Friend, JT, did you need midichlorians? You always got to bring up the midichlorians and space whales. Damn you, Joe.
See, going to what Wade said, it's funny he brought up the coaxium because I was actually thinking about how I wouldn't want the coaxium in there. I figured just make him a spice runner and
Yeah, you
go
would
with
think
that.
so.
Like, get rid of the coaxium, replace it with spice because they've already talked about that, and have that. Like you said, you get a little bit of the boba, so you get some backstory on that. Get some backstory on him and Jabba, because obviously they had a relationship going into episode 4, so getting a little detail on that wouldn't be horrible.
Yeah. I just think it's one of those things that, I mean, it really is unexplored. So at least it's fertile, storytelling ground.
Mhm.
That you don't know. I mean, AJ, you proved the point. Like, we don't even know why there's all this hatred. Well, that's a perfect thing for them to explain. It's like, Rogue One as the example. Like, okay, we know they got the Death Star plans. Do we need to know what happened between? Well, yeah, because all we understood between episode 4 and episode 3 was the Empire is huge and powerful, and they kick everybody's ass. So how the heck did the rebellion defeat them to get these plans? Like, so apparently we did need that. So yeah, I think that'd be something interesting to explore. And AJ, you bring up a really good point. We've discussed it several times on the show, but Lucasfilm does a really good job of taking stuff that we already know and spreading it out into a larger story that makes a lot of sense. And come to find out, yeah, I really wanted to know that. And this could be another one of those perfect examples of that. That backstory, and for example, another backstory. I think this one's a little obvious, but it's, if you're going to go Boba, you got to go to the next obvious one. Weaver says it would be cool to see Jabba on the big screen again, only if they can get the damn voice right. That was my little non sequitur in there. I wonder if they would go back to puppet Jabba or use CGI. Yeah, I think tying Jabba the Hutt in would be awesome. That would definitely be fan service because that's something you really don't need to know. Jabba was kind of a one-off character. It was like, hey, it's a big fat slug. He had history with Han Solo. I mean, you could explain the history, but other than that, it's not really a need for it. And again, his voice was awesome in Return of the Jedi. It's been crap ever since. And I'm just gonna, voice my opinion here. I think they would do a combination of CGI and puppet to do Jabba. What do you guys think?
I could see something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Go with the giant puppet route, but then augment it with CGI expressions or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was thinking as soon as you brought that up that you could get the first big screen debut of Zero.
Oh, God.
They still got to answer what happened to Jabba's kid.
What?
I mean, that was the whole MacGuffin of the Clone Wars movie, and we never saw or heard from Rota, I think the kid's name is. We'll just call him
Rhoda,
Stinky.
yeah.
That's what they called him in the movie, so.
That's what I called the movie itself. The movie is absolutely awful.
Yeah,
Ugh,
It's pretty
Rhoda,
rough.
Rhoda the Huttlet. So,
Hut-lit.
yep,
Ugh. Well,
that's an ugly little shit too. My God,
yeah,
that's
that was
That's a horrible design. Wow.
You know what? How does that movie not catch crap?
Because
Like,
no one even
seriously.
wants to admit it happened.
Like, seriously, like people crap on The Last Jedi, they'll crap on The Rise of Skywalker, they'll crap on the prequels, but God forbid anybody say anything about frickin' the Clone Wars movie. It's like Rebels. Like, no one will come out and dump on it. It's like, what the hell is that? Do those movies have pictures of somebody like touching kids or something that, like, what the hell? Like,
Well, if it ends well, then people forget the bad start. Like, that's a hallmark
That's
of
true.
Star Trek.
That's very
The original
true.
series is actually kind of crap, but it led to some fun movies and then a bunch of spin-off series that people loved. So people don't realize how bad the original was.
that I can't comment on because I like the original Star Wars series. It's cheesier than all holy hell, but I like it. I'm not gonna lie. Now the Clone Wars movie, I was maybe 10 minutes into it, going, "What in the ever living f is going on right now?" Like, this is just ugh. And then, like I said, Zero the Hutt comes on. I was just like, no.
I wonder
Oh.
if it would be more palatable for you on a rewatch, knowing that it's leading to better stuff.
Honestly, I wonder if it taints my my interest in the Clone Wars. It's so bad. It's like that fart that just lingers and never goes away. Like when you rip ass in your car and you roll the windows down and it just will not go away. And then like a half hour later, somebody gets in your car and like, man, oh man, who chucked a clinker on your floor? Like
I think this
like
is
that.
more of a you problem, JT. I'm not really following this metaphor. I don't know what the hell you do in the CX wing, but that's your business, man.
I'm saying the stink lingers, man. It does. It's like a really bad fart. That's what the Clone Wars movie is. The Clone Wars movie is a really bad fart. That's it. Just is.
Okay. I'll go with you on that one. That's like when Ace has a butt leak in my back seat. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you got to take him to a vet for that shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. When his anal gland decides to express in the back seat. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't worry,
Oh my
people.
gosh.
I've got a dog hammock. I just take out the dog hammock and wash it. It's fine. But good God, does that stink up the car until I get it out of there.
I won't bring it up on the screen, but Mark Thrasher says, The Force Awakens doesn't make sense to me, but The Last Jedi is still awesome. So, thanks for that.
Yeah, he made a
That's
couple
awesome.
typos in there. I think he's a little dyslexic, but that's
Yeah,
all
I
right.
think so too. All right, so Joseph Wren asks, is it a better story if Boba Fett is just someone Han fears because of his reputation? Do they need to have a history between the two of them? Personally, for me, that's an easy one to answer. I say, hell yeah, because if it's just, oh no, like I'm afraid of him because he's Boba Fett. Like, first of all, Han Solo is not a bitch like that, so he doesn't get afraid of people. Number two, if there's really no point to them having this history, then it kind of makes it silly. You know, it's just like Boba Fett just has a hair up his ass. It's like, so what's the point? You know, and even if it's something as small as, you know, Boba's been on the cusp of catching him like 6 or 7 times and missed every time. So that's why he's got, you know, and Han may not even know he was that close to being caught. Like, but Boba Fett just kept missing him, and that's why he's pissed off at Han Solo. Like, at least even that is a little bit of backstory, and that would flesh it out as opposed to just being, you know, 2 guys who happen to know each other and like, oh crap, it's Boba Fett for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I would say that's important.
I don't know. It feels like the dots are pretty well connected. Like, if they both just work for Jabba, so Han knows who Boba is just by always crossing paths, so he knows the dude is a badass to be feared. Then he actually does get caught in Empire Strikes Back by Boba Fett. So when he just gets thawed out in Return of the Jedi, and then his reaction is Boba Fett, where? Like, wouldn't you be scared shitless too?
Yeah, but again, I think that's crap, and here's why. Everybody who talks about, you know,
It should be a new segment.
Well,
John thinks it's crap, and here's why.
well, like all the people that complain about the Han and Greedo shooting scene, like saying that, you know, Greedo shooting first or whatever, like changes Han's character or something. I mean, doing this like with Han Solo just being afraid of Boba Fett, that changes his character. And so I don't understand how, if one's bad, the other one isn't. You know, if Greedo shot first, that makes Han Solo a different character or whatever. Like, and you know that's unacceptable. But you know, if Han Solo is all of a sudden just afraid of Boba Fett, that's okay. Like that character change is fine. That is absolute lunacy to me. I mean, seriously, what would you think if it was just Han Solo running away? Like Brave Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like just running away from freaking Boba Fett. Wouldn't you be like, since when is Han Solo a bitch? Like, what is that?
I think you have a different idea of who Han Solo is. Like, he's always a guy who throws himself into a situation haphazardly and gets in way over his head.
That doesn't
Like,
mean
he's
he's
not
afraid.
brave. He's not brave at all, man. At the Death Star, he went charging down a hallway and then turned tail and ran.
See, George Osborne, what's up, buddy? He says, I fully agree with JT on the Han Boba stuff. See? I'm right. There is no disputing this. Han Solo is not afraid, okay? That is totally not his character. He is not afraid.
Rathtar scene in Force Awakens.
He's not afraid of rat tars. He's smart.
What movie were you watching?
They're murderous giant beasts. That is not even the same. What kind of a dumb point is that?
What do you mean?
That's like
He's
being
saying
like
he's not afraid. He wasn't standing there in the hallway like blasting down Rathars. He was running for his goddamn life.
because he's smart. Dude. A surfer is not afraid of other surfers, but he goes under the water and there's a great white. He's gonna shit his pants. I'm talking. Jeez, oh man, why? What is with you tonight? What is with you tonight? You are not making any sense.
Han is not brave. He's stupid. He's stupid and lucky. That's who he is.
Hovering over the remove button while typing up an ad for a third podcast host for the Nerfherder Council because someone can't mind his manners. Han definitely is brave. How is he not brave?
When was he brave? When was he brave?
When was he not?
I gave you a few examples of when he wasn't. You haven't given me a single one where he was.
All right, before we get in, Steve, what side of the fence do you fall on this?
I don't even know. I'm enjoying this argument right now, honestly.
Come on, classic Han line. Never tell me the odds. Another one from Force Awakens. I don't ask that question until I've tried it.
Doesn't that take bravery to just run into the situation like that?
No, he's haphazard. He's not brave. Bravery is considering it and going, I'm doing it anyway. He freely admits he doesn't think things through.
Because he's brave enough to just do it. That's self-confidence. That's cojones. That's stones, man. Yeah, look at that George Osborne. He shot at Vader. Okay, so there's one. There you go.
I would say he was brave when Luke crawled up his shit when he was getting ready to leave, and then the Falcon shows back up like 5 minutes later during the Death Star run or whatever the fuck.
That was his face turn, yeah.
Yeah, like so that would be bravery because he knew what he was getting into and came back anyways. Well, there's one.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. But remember, he didn't want to like go rescue Leia at all. Luke had to be like, you can get paid, man. You can get a lot of money. And even after that, when he found out how hard it was, he's like, screw this, man.
Steve just said it. He came back knowing the odds, knowing that he was going against the Empire, the Death Star, and everything. Like, what the heck?
He also tried to bolt at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back. Well, that bounty hunter we ran into on Ord Mantell changed my mind.
He had a price on his head. He was being hunted all over the galaxy.
A death mark's not an easy thing to live with.
What's that on your shirt there? Is that the Purina logo? No, it's just a patch. Oh, I like it. Oh, thank you. I'm lying. Oh, I'm not going to miss you.
But seriously, he tried to bolt on the entire rebellion because he's like, yeah, I got to go pay Jabba. Screw your cause.
He was going to get killed.
He was fine with that until someone actually tried to kill him.
You know what? It's a fine line because even George says it there in the comments. You know, the saving the Wookiees, the stuff with the coaxium at the end of Solo. Like, yeah, he was doing it for money, but it was still an aspect of bravery that when he could have said screw the whole thing and left the money too and went to something that he could have got paid doing something a lot less dangerous, and he still chose to do it. So I'd say that does take some level of bravery, even though like I said, it's a fine line of him wanting to get paid and bravery at the same time.
He's the scoundrel with a heart of gold. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. When he's like seriously presented with a moral quandary, he'll take the high road. Yeah.
Look, see, okay, George nails it. You don't smuggle if you're a coward or stupid. It takes balls to do that. I mean, Just because he's into self-preservation does not make him a coward. Doesn't make him brave. I mean, he evacuates Leia from Hoth, and then he basically is taking on like an entire fleet by himself, trying to escape.
It took bravery to get on that Tauntaun to go find Luke.
There you go. See? It took bravery to cut the thing open. Trollo, nice.
It's so easy to get you hot, man.
Well, quit screwing with Han Solo. All right. Han is brave. Joe says, Han is brave once in every movie. His character is generally not brave, but if you think about how he talks, it's not that he's capable of being brave, but that he views bravery as a weakness.
Can we ban Joseph Wren for being too smart for our show?
We could, but then
like, I don't want to think that hard.
There goes all the intelligent banter on our show if we do that.
Pretty much.
I don't think he views bravery as a weakness. I think he just doesn't want to admit that he's a good guy. You know, they say that in Solo. You know, that you're a good guy. No, I'm not. Like, yeah, you are.
I see where he's going with that though, because every time Han Solo does something selfless and brave, he's like, like he doesn't want to do it, but something compels him anyway. Like he's not proud of it.
It's that inherent bravery in him that he can't hold it back. He's so brave that it just comes pouring out of him when he doesn't want to.
He just exudes it so much.
He does. He does. He exudes the bravery, man. So you're just wrong. Just get on board, man. Han Solo kicks ass, and dogging him, first of all, is pointless, and second of all, will get you absolutely nowhere in front of me, and you know this. Why you do that, I have no idea.
What we need for your background, by the way, we need a background of the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon for you.
I have that.
You should absolutely be in the pilot seat right now.
I totally should. I got to change that. All right, so back to Solo 2, since we got sidetracked by Han Solo, which is a good thing to get sidetracked by because, you know, Han Solo is awesome.
How dare we get sidetracked by Han Solo while talking about Solo 2?
What are we thinking?
Right?
What are we thinking? So we got Boba Fett, we got Jabba. Are there any kind of secondary or even tertiary characters that you think would be awesome to show up to tell a little bit more of a story of?
I feel like you can go pull from two different sources. You can either bring characters forward from the Clone Wars or pull them back from Rebels if you wanted to bring in some tertiary stuff. Because there were like smugglers and you know underworld people in Rebels that you could have show up as their first appearance in the timeline, or get someone like Cad Bane. You know, you could totally have any bounty hunter from Clone Wars show up.
I mean,
the one thing we cannot have is having Kira and Han cross paths again, though.
You don't think?
The whole thing that made the ending of Solo bittersweet was that you felt like they weren't going to cross paths again, at least not anytime soon. So if immediately in the next movie they're right back in each other's lives, it's kind of anticlimactic.
Well, I wouldn't say have them be in each other's lives, but obviously he would have to cross paths with Crimson Dawn, which means they're at least going to have to see each other at some point. Like, even if they're not, banging in Lando's cape closet again, but they're good. They're gonna have to cross paths again at some point, though.
So real quick,
especially if he's working for Jabba, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
2-1B, really?
Yeah. Yep. Mark Thrasher says 2-1B. That's a good one.
That is a deep cut. Holy crap! If you can name droids, that's incredible.
Yes. And by the way, AJ Joseph Friend says, AJ, make a Han shot shirt. I will buy 2 to celebrate your takedown notice. So there you go. You'll make like $10.
Nice.
Just off Joseph Wren. He also says, more Sabine Wren, please. As much as I am not a fan of Rebels, that might not be too bad. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I was just thinking, anybody that they've introduced during like The Mandalorian or something that you could bring those characters in, even if they're not major players or something, but like shit. I forgot his name. The dude that had Boba Fett's armor.
Cobb Vanth.
Vanth.
Yeah, somebody he could show up for some reason because Han is smuggling something to whatever friggin' planet he's on or something. Like little things like that, like you said, secondary characters that you could just kind of dump in so people could sit at home and go, hey, I know that guy.
So 2 quick things. Number 1, am I the only one that whenever I think of Cobb Vanth, I always picture that he's like a gunslinger in Boba's armor, but he has a really bad lisp and is like, I always just think it's like his name is actually Cobb Vance. Like, what's your name? I'm Cobb Vanth. All right. Well, nice to meet you, Cobb Vanth. No, Cobb Vanth. Yeah, that's what you said. Vanth. No, Vanth. Like,
I feel like you're not taking this seriously.
Listen, you stupid Mandalorian. I said Vanth.
It's like the robot chicken thing with C-3PO.
Yeah, the Spanish class.
Yeah.
C-3PO. So anyway, I would say, but so you guys brought up something a second ago that I kind of wanted to address. That I think this could be an interesting tie-in. If we're talking about, going back to the Han Solo Boba Fett war thing, and you guys brought up, Crimson Dawn and Jabba the Hutt and everything. What if Han Solo is like kind of in with Jabba and competitive with Boba because they build up this thing where it's like Crimson Dawn versus the Hutts, and that's kind of like a crime syndicate versus crime syndicate thing, like the 5 families of New York, in the mafia, and then that's where it comes about. Yeah, like Boba Fett's a bounty hunter, and Han Solo's a smuggler. But what if they kind of have to, Han does a couple jobs better than him or whatever? What if that's kind of how they play it off? How would you guys feel about that?
That could work. They cross paths because Han is trying to smuggle something from someone that is getting hunted by Boba Fett.
Yeah,
chaos ensues.
Yeah, hijinks ensue.
Yeah, hijinks.
Yeah, see, Weaver
hijinks.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth hijinks. Weaver says, now that would be cool. Crime syndicates at war. I think as I'm thinking about it, that actually kind of makes a lot of sense from a story standpoint. Because if you think about it, it's like you would want to bring Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt into the Solo 2 storyline, but to just shoehorn them in there because that they have ties to Han Solo, you got to do it in a cool way. Mm-hmm. And you would assume that, the whole warring crime syndicate thing would, that makes sense. So that would actually be some way to explain it on a level that would make it make sense instead of, Han Solo's just out flying the Millennium Falcon. He's like, well, I got to take a dump, shitter's full. Let me go empty it over Tatooine, and that's how he ends up on Tatooine, like for no effing good reason. Like, so, it's like, oh, look, I'm on Tatooine. Oh, look at that big slug. Ooh, Mandalorian guy. And off we go. Like, it's a much cooler way to do that. So
then because we never hear the name in the original trilogy with Kira, you could have Boba kill her, and that's why Han has a fear of Boba Fett when Episode 4 rolls around. And it also explains why nobody wants to talk about her because it's a sore subject for Han or something.
Yeah, but the comic book says she's alive after Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
I wasn't sure what the time frame was of the comic. Yeah. All right. Never mind then.
Yeah. All right. George Osborne says they could always do something where they work together on something. Like if you've ever seen Boondock Saints, it could be like Rocco and the Hitman. That's a good idea, but I can't think of exactly what it is, but haven't they kind of done that already in Star Wars? Wasn't there stuff in Clone Wars like that, AJ, with like Asajj Ventress and somebody else that was it her and Obi-Wan that had teamed up for something, or who was it, or was it Anakin or?
They had to do that once just because it was like it ended up being like those two against Darth Maul and Savage Opress. It was just, it's like in wrestling where, two people are pissed at you, so you get a partner of your choosing for the tag team match.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's all it was.
It's like Ventress was on like the half baby face turn, but never quite went
Right.
through.
Yeah. On the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of things.
Yeah. I like the earlier suggestion of a live action Cad Bane somehow.
That's coming at some point. It's got to. That character is too popular.
Yeah.
I mean that's something we should talk about on a future episode. Is like the coolest underexplored characters in Star Wars right now, because Cad Bane is way up on that list.
Mm-hmm. And they had stories for him in Clone Wars that they never developed. He was supposed to kind of like raise or mentor Boba Fett, after Django died. So, I mean, we saw that at Celebration. They had footage. They had like animatics for an episode or two. So,
yeah. No, I think Cad Bane would be an awesome addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
If for no other reason than to get him into the live action stuff, so you can.
What about something from Fallen Order? Can we pull from Fallen Order to get some story ideas here?
Yeah, we can,
because it's about the same time
Absolutely.
frame.
Yeah, we can pull from anywhere.
I'm just wondering, like, what story threads are in there that you could like pull over and make sense for Han Solo to have a part in. Because he's in Episode 4, he doesn't believe in the Force. Like, he's never seen anything like that. So you got to keep him away from any Jedi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is fun though. This is like what the story group actually does. Is like brainstorms and ideates. Just throw all kinds of crazy stuff at the wall. Who cares?
At least we're trying. Unlike Twitter, that story sucks. What would you do? Crickets.
The one thing I was thinking about with Solo's story arc, though, the whole reason he was compelling was because he was like a scoundrel. He worked for a gangster when they first met him. Like, he didn't have morals or scruples that they could see. It's like the Anakin problem. Like, Han in the Solo movie started out as a good guy, well-intentioned, dealt a raw deal, and he did like heroic things to try to like save Kira and get a better life for themselves and stuff. And then he just kind of like fell into the life of smuggling because everything he was working towards was taken away.
Yeah.
So we know he's kind of like a piece of crap when Episode 4 rolls around. So the fact that he's already still showing signs of being a good person at the end of Solo says he's only going to go down from there until the next point we see him.
Yeah.
So are we just going to see him get screwed over some more?
You would have to assume that it's kind of like the prequels, where what you're getting with Anakin. Episode 1, he's like an idealistic little boy, and then it's like as he gets older and older, you see him sliding down that path, to turning into Vader, and knowing where Han Solo ends up, just like completely, sarcastic and just, selfish and all that kind of stuff, and
he just turns into a curmudgeon. Like,
yeah,
it's just him. Like,
yeah. I mean, you'd have to do that.
Yeah, he basically just gave up trying to be a good person because it was easier to be a smuggler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, I think knowing what we know from Solo, you'd have to assume that basically at some point, like, some falling out with Kira would have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, George Osborne says, getting screwed over is kind of Han's bread and butter, to be honest. Yeah, like on this show where my brother can't keep his mouth shut about how awesome he is. Or disputing how awesome he is, I should say. I can't shut up about how awesome he is. He gets screwed over on this show. Yeah.
All right, so now we get to play a variation of F, Marry, Kill. We've got the slate of
God.
Well, we've got the slate of Star Wars projects for the next like 2 or 3 years, right?
Okay.
It's pretty full. We got like 10 or 11 shows, and we got a movie coming out. So, if you want Solo 2 to happen, which hasn't been announced, what do you cut?
Rangers of the New Republic. Done.
No more Cara Dune for you, huh?
It doesn't exist as it is.
Well, actually, yeah, they've got an opening in their schedule now because I think they haven't officially canceled the show yet, have they?
I thought they did.
It's on hold or something?
It'll probably just go away. They won't even announce it.
Yeah.
Man, let me
Okay,
look
so
at the
without
slate
an
of
obvious
shows.
hole in the schedule like that, like knowing you've got the Acolyte and the Bad Batch is already out, and the Obi-Wan series and the Cassian series and the Lando series. What else is coming out?
I'm looking it up right now. Okay,
God,
so
there's so much stuff.
The Mandalorian, Rangers of the New Republic, Ahsoka, Andor, Kenobi, Bad Batch, Visions, Lando, The Acolyte, A Droid Story, and Rogue Squadron.
And Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's not on.
Yeah.
For some reason that's not on this graphic. Odd. I got it. Willow.
Yeah, that's an answer to a question nobody asked.
It's really popular. I can't really fault them for that. I mean, people are really into that movie. I never
can't.
was.
Yeah, I can't be a hypocrite and say it shouldn't come out just because I don't like it.
Let's see.
I don't know. While he's thinking about it, you guys know me, so it's not that hard for me to pull. It would either be the Andor series or Book of Boba Fett.
Oh my god! All right, AJ.
If it meant Solo 2, I could live without one of those two.
Oh my god! F you.
So instead of post Jedi Boba Fett, you want Solo 2.
Yeah, I don't like Boba Fett that much, so.
Oh, you poser. Ah.
See,
All right,
I love this, Steve. Now we can team up on him because I will totally agree that I think Boba Fett is an overexposed character. Between all of his Clone Wars time and all the original trilogy stuff and the comic books and Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian.
Now, I will say, though, the one time I actually enjoyed him was the stuff that he did on The Mandalorian. So taking that into account, I would assume that means Book of Boba Fett would be pretty cool. So I guess if I had to choose one with a gun to my head, the Andor series would be gone for Solo then.
See, this sucks for me.
Because it's going to suck no matter what. You got to lose something that you kind of want to see regardless. So.
Well, if it hadn't already come out, I would say Bad Batch because I like the Clone Wars, but I've never finished it. It just, for something about it, just never fully grabbed me in. I watch them like, oh, this is good. But when I fall off and quit watching it, I'm like, well, I'm not missing anything. Mm-hmm. So I would have said Bad Batch, but since that's out, that doesn't count. Rangers of the New Republic doesn't count. Man, honestly, this is killing me. It would honestly be between Visions and A Droid Story, and I don't know what Visions is, so I'm gonna go with that because at
that's
least
the
the droids
easy one
like
for me. Yeah,
it's like you would get you got to assume in a Droid Story you got a potential for K2SO. There's gonna be R. It's in R. The logo's in R2 colors for God's sakes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean I would totally do that. If there was one that what about one we'd actually want to see? Like, could you get like okay? If we had to pick from, and I'm gonna leave Andor out because obviously that one would be a bitch for me, but not for Steve. Of these four, if you have to cut one, and I mentioned
just tying back to your car metaphor. Yeah,
I was just about to. Yeah. So, Kenobi, the
if you have to cut one.
Such a highbrow show, man. Oh my god. All right, so one of the four has to go. Kenobi, Lando, the Acolyte, or Rogue Squadron.
Remind me what the Acolyte is again.
Are you even a fan of the dark side at all?
Right, like that's the one show you should really be looking forward to, Steve.
That's the one about the Sith.
I honest to God haven't even heard that much about it.
Not a whole lot's been said, but it's definitely a dark side focused story.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that one then.
So you're down to Lando, Rogue Squadron, and Kenobi.
I think I keep Kenobi.
Okay.
That's easy. Vader's promised to be in it, so
Yeah, it's true. Well, so I guess for all of us, it'd just be down to Lando, the Acolyte, and Rogue Squadron.
That's tough. That's tough because part of me is like, yeah, knowing more of the backstory of Lando is great, but then I keep thinking the same question we bring up a lot, and that's, do we need it? But you know what, Lando's close enough to a main character that I think that would make more sense.
Okay.
So I guess process of elimination would dump Rogue Squadron then.
All right. So you dump Rogue Squadron and keep the Acolyte and Lando. Well, all right. What about you, AJ?
it's between Lando or Rogue Squadron for me. Not knowing much about either one, I don't know. I was never like that big of a Lando fan, but that also sounds really intriguing because I have no idea what to expect. I'm gonna have to say Rogue Squadron. I hate to kill the one movie on the slate, especially because I think Solo 2, the story ideas would work better in a series than a movie anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, as far as the stories I'd like to see, I'd rather see Solo 2 than Rogue Squadron. But this is also coming from somebody who has no idea what Rogue Squadron was back in the Legends days.
Well, I'm keeping Rogue Squadron because it has the word rogue in the title, and the last time they put out something with the word rogue in the title, it was absolutely freaking amazing. So
Rogue Squadron's just going to be Top Gun, but with X-Wings.
And now I'm really keeping it. All right.
Red 5 requesting a flyby. That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Negative Skywalker. The pattern is full.
We're going to see space volleyball.
Yeah, exactly. The song's going to be sung in Huttese. Choo-cha, hoo-da-da-doo-ka-hoo. Oh, choo-ha. Cheap Trick has to sing Mighty Wings, but in in Wookiee.
Who's going to be the squadron leader though? That's drinking the blue milk as Luke does the buzzes the tower anyway.
Yeah.
God damn it, Skywalker!
Gosh darn Bantha Poodoo.
Can we get a Size Noodles cover of the Pat Benatar song?
It's so good.
No, we need Joe Yowza on that one, not Slice Noodles. I want Joe Yowza.
On the Berlin song, Take My Breath Away.
Take my breath. Was that Berlin? I thought that was Pat Benatar.
No, it's Berlin.
Oh, shit. Okay. My bad.
You're close. All right, so
they're in the bar and Luke says, hey, I think she's lost that love and feeling, and then the Cantina band starts playing the opening riff.
The Cantina band sitting in for the Righteous Brothers, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so I have to pick between Lando and the Acolyte. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's really difficult. All right. Man. So the Acolyte, there's like a lightsaber being cut. Okay, so lightsaber cut through the logo, so that's pretty evil. Okay. Man, this is really difficult because like the Lando series kind of falls under that. Okay, is this like a story, as I stumble over my words, is this a story that we really need? But, the Acolyte, do we have to go way back with the Sith? I'm going to say get rid of Lando. I'm going to say keep the Acolyte because it'll open more storytelling doors than Lando would, I would think. Lando's just kind of like that cool, check this out. This is a guy you love. Here's his backstory type of thing, which is awesome. I'm all for that. But the Acolyte has the potential to, I think, bring much more potential for other stories into the Star Wars universe. And you're talking about, you could bring in Revan and all those other, Sith lords that everyone's loved for years, So, yeah, I would have to go with keep the acolyte.
Okay. Now we just got to make Solo 2 happen. Hashtag.
I guess so. I guess so.
Well,
All right,
when
well,
we put it that way, it seems pretty easy, isn't it?
We just wrote it.
Yeah.
We just wrote it, and now we're going to get another cease and desist because we probably hit on a bunch of script points. They're like, take that down.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
but then Solo 2 comes out, and there's a scene where Han's sitting there, and I happened to see an X-Wing do a 4G negative dive.
Then we can give them a cease and desist. Like we did it first. This video is dated, you a-holes. They show the behind the scenes, and the whole crew is wearing the Nerfherder Council Solo logo T-shirt. They just bought a crap load of them before they put the cease and desist on, and it's the official crew shirt.
That's all right. I'll fix them since I could never get the Celestial Power logo from Rogue One on any merchandise, and I've always wanted that.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna make my own. Let them take that one down too.
Right?
Let just keep coming up with stuff, and it'll be
We're
like
just
a
gonna
timer.
we're just gonna do limited run stuff until it gets a takedown notice.
Yes. Let's keep the channel live for good in perpetuity, and it'll just be a timer on the screen that goes up. Like hit start on the timer when we release the shirt, and then we'll just go until all of a sudden one day we have to hit stop, and people are like, "Oh my god, it stopped! It stopped!" We're like, "Yep, it lasted 4.5 days." Oh, here. All right, Steve, you get one personal question, and don't go into too much detail because this will take forever. George Osborne asks, hold up, completely off topic, but is that a Blink 182 flag on Steve's wall?
Yeah. This oh god, it's backwards. Flag
I do the same
here. Lots of posters back there, and all on the side wall. The whole wall is covered with them over here.
Yeah, if you look at all the stuff, he's got a whole bunch of posters and everything. Basically, the whole basement is like, or at least half the basement's Blink 182 stuff.
Here, I can turn and show you a chunk of them. Yeah, the whole wall's covered in framed posters over there.
He's got like signed like up over your shoulder, which would be your right shoulder. You got that signed. You got the signed drum head and the signed like vinyl and
all that good stuff up there. God, the backwards shit.
It's hard, isn't it?
It is weird.
Yeah, it's covering all my walls here.
Well, there you go. He said, "I'm jealous. Blink's my favorite band." Well, there you go. See,
Good taste.
George. I'm sure you'll meet Steve at Celebration sometime when he.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Steve doesn't do Celebration.
One
know
of
why?
these days.
We do though. We
Yes,
got our
we
hotel.
do. We did.
We can
Oh
wrap
yeah,
up with that.
yeah. The final thing we got 3 hotels. Joe, if you bring up the goddamn Purgles one more time, good Lord, stop with the space whales. My God, they suck. They effing suck. Oh, God, that'll get me.
Joe,
every
just
time.
for
I hate
you,
those.
we're getting Purgles on our next shirt. Oh yeah.
God.
Keep an eye out. I'm doing a Purgle design for sure. Yep.
Well, then the show is going to be just me and Steve until you apologize publicly, ass. George,
Well, we could take his comment, AJ, with the Purgles exist, and we can put the logo in the X-Files font and just says Purgles exist.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not cool. Damn it. All right, George wants to know where's Celebration at next. It's Memorial Day weekend next year in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to the site of where we met. So, all right, real quick before we get out of here, yeah, our very quick Celebration story. We got not 1 but 3 hotels for Celebration because if any of you have listened to the show for a couple of years now, you know that I get ridiculously anal about booking this trip so I don't miss out and have to stay like way far away. It pisses me off. So I plan everything in advance. So I actually found a hotel about a mile and a half down the street from the convention center that had rooms available before the public block went up. So Grand Legacy, Anaheim, I got a room there. So I already had that. Now when the public block went up,
Dude, if you tell them where we're staying, we're just going to be mobbed with fans.
only the people that know that we give everybody our booze and get ridiculously hammered for no reason.
I mean, all 4 of the people watching now are going to be all over us.
Well, we're not staying at the Grand Legacy, but
Well,
we did get,
that's the genius of 3 hotel rooms, AJ. If there's only 4 people watching,
They're dummy sites.
yeah.
yes.
That just once I would love to have somebody come up to us and be like, "Are you guys from the Nerfherder Council?" Be like, "Dude, I'm paying for everything of yours today. That is amazing that somebody actually knows who the hell our dumpy asses are."
And then he goes, "You guys fucking suck."
Right. Like so
Yeah.
far, our best story is we were wearing our own shirt at Celebration, and someone comes up and goes, "Oh, you've heard that show?" Like, it is our show.
Yeah, that's us. We're wearing our own crap. Mm.
Yeah. Although we are on video now, so at least people know what the hell we look like.
That's true. But yeah, so we go into the public thing, and it was the hotel block opened up for me on Thursday, June 3rd, and it was at 3 p.m. Pacific. So it was noon Pacific, which is 3 p.m. our time here on the East Coast in Cleveland. So I get the email at noon.
On the East Coast of Cleveland. That's right.
I said, and on the East Coast, on the East Coast, I tried to say in Cleveland. What? F you, dude. Who knows what the hell I meant? Shut up.
Hey, we have
Lord.
a coast, damn it. It just happens to be north, okay?
AJ's in a mood tonight. Jeez.
You're so much fun to mess with. I can't help it.
F you. So anyway, so I click the link right at noon, and I go in, and it says there are 5 people ahead of you in line. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. So I click the link just in case it's live, and it says come back later. So I'm thinking, okay, no big deal. Well, not knowing I probably could have stayed in line, I click on the link again at 20 to 3, and it says there are 1,955 people in line ahead of you. I was like, oh, my God. So I hit up AJ. I'm like, dude, you got to log in now. Like, you have to log in now because there's, like, all these people. And so we both
And I think I was like 1,900 spots back by the time he got to me. So
yeah,
I
it was
like so far behind.
Man. But thankfully, I kept clicking and clicking and clicking and refreshing, and AJ's like, it's just registering your IP address. That's not doing anything. I'm like, but the number's going down. The number's going down. It's working. And I know he's right, but in my head, the number's going down, so it's working. So I don't want to hear about the tech crap. The number's going down.
The page even says you can close the browser and not lose your place in line.
That's not how it works with me and computers, dude. If I did that, my whole computer would crash. That's how things work for me, okay? And I wasn't taking the goddamn risk because I want to go to Celebration and I don't want to get a freaking Uber ride on freaking Memorial Day weekend to the damn convention center. I want to be like a 60-second walk. So the long story short, I get in. And there's one of the 3 closest hotels still available. So I click it, and I can't figure out where the hell the booking button is. So I'm starting to panic at my desk. I'm smashing the mouse and keyboard, and I'm like, I'm like making this noise at work at my desk, going, like,
Dude,
people are like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I know exactly what you're talking about. You remember back in the day when we had to get like all of our concert tickets off of like Ticketmaster, and you get that 5-minute countdown.
Yes,
that, like,
exactly.
Your tickets are only held, and you're like panicking trying to put your address and your credit card number in until that thing hits fucking 0.
Yeah. Dude, they used to do that with the Celebration rooms. Like, you would get in there and you'd fill out all your stuff in like 30 seconds and you'd hit enter for oh, I'm sorry, these rooms have already been taken. Like, what the crap good is this then? Like, you got to hold the goddamn things for at least 60 seconds. So thankfully they didn't do that this time. So I went in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, and the thing was still available. And finally I got it to work. So I got the hotel room. And then AJ got the hotel across the street from it, and it was much cheaper. But it's also a 1-star, and the one I got is a 4.5 star. So we're spending a little bit extra so we don't stay in a rat-infested shithole.
Right.
Which
I just got closest. I just went by geography, man.
Yeah. And let's be clear, AJ and I don't care if it's a rat-infested shithole. The only reason we don't want to stay there is because we stock the room with our own food to save money, and we don't want roaches running off with our turkey and lettuce. If it was just us for the place to sleep and hold our booze in the fridge, we wouldn't give a crap. Because we're at Celebration. We're right across the street from Celebration. There's
probably not even any wall sconces in the hallway to hide pizza in.
You know, it's like I look back at the Celebration stories, the dumb crap we've done, and I'm like, you know, that's really irresponsible, potentially illegal, and very childish. And I feel bad. Not really. No.
Right.
Then you do it again next year.
Oh,
yeah. Just wait until next year when we're live streaming it.
Every celebration. I did get asked if we're going to podcast from there, like from the hotel room. I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. I really don't think that's a good idea.
That's a Twitch exclusive for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be, you know, I stole another beer from the hotel cafe. Dude, you can't say that. They might be listening. I don't care. I was thirsty and they still left the case open, so woohoo, I got a Heineken. Woohoo.
Well,
I tell you,
all I know is that you guys can open the StreamYard email with your phone and travel around wherever you want. So
we totally can. Joseph Wren or OnlyFans. Our OnlyFans would be one fan only. It'd be only a fan.
Right.
And I don't even know who the hell it would be.
We're going to start our own site called OnlyFan.
And then we're going to get a cease and desist on that too.
Yeah.
God damn it. We can't have a solo shirt. We can't have a porn site. Like, we can't have anything. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
If we want a porn site, we know who can build that for us, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Our next 2 T-shirt designs is going to be our show name, but it's going to be a Pornhub logo, and the other one's going to be an OnlyFans logo.
Let's see if they can knock us on all 3, you bastards. Let's see.
Right?
The triumvirate. Yeah, I wonder, you know, it would be kind of fun to like live stream since we could do the video thing just to see what kind of idiocy we get into. But knowing us, we would probably live stream something illegal without even knowing it and completely incriminate ourselves.
Well, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, then that's just clickbait. Then we can go viral.
Yeah, but we've done illegal shit before, and
well,
you know,
don't.
Well,
maybe you see somebody else get mugged in the street, and you just happen to live stream it.
Well, we don't do that.
Yeah, minor misdemeanor, maybe like drunk in public. That's the worst we do.
Yeah,
it's not like we got like a drug ring going on or anything.
Maybe you could interview one of the weirdos that were outside of Anaheim last time with the signs.
Oh
my God.
We should get one of those. Yes.
That was funny.
Yeah, interview one of those guys.
If we see that, we're going live for sure.
Oh yeah,
if
that's
that
awesome.
happens again. Yeah. George is right. We met George in Anaheim in 15. He's like, we crash parties at Celebration. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we bring sandwiches to wait in line for 3D screenings of Revenge of the Sith. And we smuggle in what look like water bottles, but they're actually filled with vodka, to 3D screenings of Revenge of the Sith. What else do we do? Like I said, I stole a Heineken from the hotel cafe because I just decided I hadn't had enough beer, so I needed that 40 that they were selling in the chilled case when they were closed. So I did that. We deconstructed a pizza and left it in pieces all around the hotel, the floor of our hotel. We were shooting 3-pointers into the light fixture with the sausage.
God damn, we're stupid. Oh man.
Yeah, we've done some really, really, really dumb crap. There was AJ,
according to with other stories you've told, you could possibly crash parties at Celebration with Ray Park in tow.
We could. I got Ray Park hammered, and he got me hammered as well. So
imagine you just go to a shoddy hotel party and you're like, "Hey, I brought Ray Park."
Sir, we don't know. You can't come in. Well, I may not be able to come in, but can my friend Ray come in? See, look.
You constantly refer to him as first and last name.
Of course.
Oh,
Hey.
but I bet you my friend Ray Park here can come in, can't he?
Hey, Ray Park.
What about
can
you,
come over
Ray
here
Park?
for a second?
Ray
Yeah.
Park, you want to come into this party? Hey, Ray Park wants to come in. How about that?
I think Ray Park would like a beverage. Would you happen to have any?
For Ray Park?
Yeah, for Ray Park, preferably in multiples. Preferably high proof. All right. Well, why don't we get out of here?
Darth malt liquor, perhaps?
Oh, God. Now we're really getting out of here. Seriously? Oh. Miranda, real quick, asks, how can you waste sausage like that? Well, we were full.
And the bulbs kept it warm. It was fine for breakfast the next morning.
Yes. We did. They did have like a chest of drawers with like a nice.
We did actually
plant
remember
on
to
it.
check on it too. That was actually pretty good on our part.
Yeah. I closed up the clamshell and I put it in the chest of drawers and it stayed there the whole time. So they must not have done a very good job of cleaning that Marriott. Because
I don't think they're looking in light fixtures for pizza toppings.
Well, it's not even that. It's in the chest. It's like right there in the hall. It's got the flowers out with the big mirror, like right at the intersection of the hallways. And it was still there like 3 or 4 days later. The clamshell with my mostly eaten pizza. It was still there. Oh no. Oh, here we go.
Oh man.
Yeah. George, no, it was not getting lost sitting out on the balcony. It was me getting so drunk with Ray Park that I tried to get into the hotel room with, instead of using my key, I was using a credit card. And I couldn't figure out why the door wouldn't open, so AJ found me passed out in the hallway. Yes.
Oh, man. Okay, we're not doing a Celebration Stories recap show. We need to get the hell out of here.
No. Poor Danbo. Danbo 22 came in for the serious conversation right at the very worst part of the show. We're getting out of here.
Right.
Yeah. The Lando series coming to Disney Plus could very well be a spiritual successor to Solo. I'm assuming it's Donald Glover in the role, but down for Billy D and Jana post TROS as well. A very good point.
Yeah.
And it would have been awesome like a half hour ago.
Right.
Before we got all stupid.
You just happened to walk in shitpost hour. And,
yeah. So, Dambo, please tune in again because I promise we don't talk about this stupid crap all the time. This is just like a non sequitur, or not a non sequitur, but a tangent, excuse me, that we got off on because we were talking about booking our Celebration hotel room. So
he's lying.
Oh, shut up, Steve. You goober. All right. So anyways, guys, thanks for checking out another episode of the Nerfherder Council. We appreciate you guys for hanging out. Dambo, Miranda, George, our good buddy Joseph Friend, good to see you again. Mark Thrasher, of course. We got Weaver. Wade Lindemann was in here. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We appreciate you guys very much. We will be back here in 2 weeks on June 23rd, which is a very, very important day in my life. That is my wife's birthday, so that'll be a very, very cool night. You know, I'll be celebrating her. She's awesome. Yeah. So thanks for checking out the show. If you guys want to catch the audio replays, just go anywhere you can find podcasts. We're pretty much everywhere. Just search for Nerfherder Council. Our video replays are available on YouTube anytime you want. They are up live, obviously, pretty much right after we do the show. The show is available, as I said, live every other Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Occasionally, we'll be doing some special one-off broadcasts. In that case, we'll be using our Twitch page because we can't get kicked off of Facebook when we use Twitch, so that's a good thing. So we got some good ideas coming up here that we're going to do on like a Friday or Saturday night, you know, kind of kick back some beverages and get a little silly. May have some of you guys on the show guest hosting with us, so that'll be fun. So yeah, go check us out at nerfherdercouncil.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those good places. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at NHC Podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to click subscribe and the like button so you can get notified when we go live. And thanks for all the support, guys. We love it. Thanks for being part of the conversation. We always appreciate you guys being a big part of the show. So once again, I am your host, JT, at Dog Pound Jedi. He is AJ.
At Drake Adams, 579.
He is Steve.
At Nerfherder Steve.
And we will catch